Hey guys, welcome to my video on G.I. Joe War on Cobra. In this video we will cover the current Death from Above meta. Now what does that mean? Well, in the current meta, airships, airplanes are incredibly overpowered. And the strategy requires first taking out the opponent's anti-air defenses. Now here you see in the video I'm using the Cobras against the Joes, and I have both of the airships unlocked. Now they don't have to be super high level, you can just have a basic level 1 and still do plenty of damage. As you can see, once I take out the air defenses, I then go on to specifically target their energy generators. And then once the energy generators are down on the front lines, I'll send in my ground troops. In most cases, this is the squad I like to use. I think Storm Shadow, the white ninja guy, is probably pretty essential. I use him in some cases to take out anti-air defenses in the beginning for some of the as kind of a cleanup master to take out some of the air defenses that might not have been swept out by the bombs or the hacks in the initial wave. Destro's a great leader in a sense because you can use his wrist rockets to also take out some of the anti-air defenses from afar. So as we go on to the next video, you'll see that I always start with a little bit of scouting. I see where the turrets are. Sometimes they have them hidden behind buildings and flags like that, and I see what levels they are. And I want to see if my bombs will take it out. So here I am targeting their anti-air defenses first. There's really no rush in this first minute. The first minute's completely safe to just make sure that the air targets are taken care of. Here I drop in Storm Shadow just for the sake of trying to take out that bazooka, although he does kill me right there. So you have to make sure you target the Bazooka Joe character, because if you don't, he'll definitely shoot down your airplanes. So outside of the anti-air defenses, there's usually 4 on a map in most cases. Outside of that though, you want to make sure that the opponent doesn't have a bazooka, because if they do, you want to make sure he's targeted to he's taken care of before you send in your airplanes. Another thing too is if they have one of the airplane, if the Joe base has the airplane that can shoot missiles defending the base, you want to make sure you take that. You want to make sure you target that first, because that also can take out your airplanes. Because once you have taken care of all the anti-air defenses on the map, your airplanes are free to just go ravage the enemy base. And once you take out all their power generators, they have no defenses to stop your ground troops from coming in. So here we go again, targeting their anti-air units. I like to make sure to use the bombs on the ones that are out in the water, because those ones are harder to get to, in the sense that if they're on the ground up there, I can always drop Storm Shadow in the back and he can take it out. I don't mind sacrificing him as long as he gets his job done. Here's an example of that. So yeah, once all the air defenses are down, you just send in the air cavalry, and they come through and they take out all the power generators first. You can have them target anything you want, but honestly I think you get the most value out of targeting the power generators, because there'll be nothing left other than just these little ground troops to come out and harass your ground squad. I still like to use the missile bats just to take out those little drone things. This current team's pretty good. I like the tank thing for Destro, because it just gives him a little extra protection against those long range little missile volleys that'll sometimes hit your ground troops. in the early beginning part of the map. It's not necessarily all that important to clear the entire map. You just need to get to that second star in terms of clearing the map, and then you want to take out the final base, and you'll get 3 stars that way. So here we go again, taking out the anti-air defenses. The first one was a missile, the second one was a hack. Here we go with another missile. And sometimes using the hacks on the missiles are really strong, and I recommend them because the missiles will turn around and shoot whatever airplane they have that's defending the base. Now as you see, the ground troops just roll through and just destroy everything. In order for this to be a successful strategy, you really need to have Storm Shadow, and you have to rank him up at least that first level, because that first level gives him that little dust cloud that hides him when he first enters the map, and that's really an invaluable thing because it gets him behind the enemy lines. He can go anywhere on the map. He can deploy anywhere as far as you want to put him, as long as it's on land. And he's really overpowered in my opinion. He's a great support character. I don't think he makes for the best leader. That's just my personal opinion, but he's a great support character because he can hide things like the mines, so your tanks can roll over him, and he can deploy anywhere on the map. So we just keep going, attacking their anti-air defenses. Now, of course, I understand that all of this strategy revolves around you unlocking the helicopters and the airplanes, but when you finally do unlock this strategy, there's really no other way to play. I mean, it's the best strategy in the game so far until they find a way to nerf the air attack in this game. Simply put, it's the only way to play. So there's other strategies you can use in the early part as the Cobra squad, such as you can put Destro in and you can have him run back and forth from the top to the bottom of the screen without entering into the map, and that way you can get off a couple of missile volleys before he runs in and dies. That really helps in terms of, like, if you drop a bomb on an anti-air defense and it maybe didn't kill all of it, then you can just drop a Destro in or Storm Shadow and just go back into the back and knock it out before you put your planes in. And here again, see, a lot of people make that same mistake where they put 2 anti-aircraft guns within 1 bomb of each other. So with 1 bomb I can take out 2 of your anti-aircraft missiles, and in my opinion that's a mistake. So when you set your base up for defense, you want to make sure that your anti-aircraft missile launchers are far apart, and you also want to kind of keep them away from your base's turrets, like your machine gun turrets or your anti-tank turrets, simply because if your opponent comes into your base and hacks your anti-aircraft turrets, like I do, your own defenses will cannibalize your own anti-air defense. So you kind of want to keep those off on the sides. I think one of the strongest positions to put your anti-aircraft cannons are all the way off to the right of the map in the water, simply because things like Storm Shadow can't get out there. You'd have to either set a boat in your squad and send a boat after it, or waste your initial airstrikes on the water aircraft turrets